All right, everyone, welcome to the live stream. Thank you for stopping by. Make sure you drop a like on this. Let me know you're in the comments, and also subscribe if you're new to the channel. This is something we do every Friday. We're going to have some special guests online, actors, filmmakers, just people in general, crew, cast from different movies that I work on and from outside. I live in Georgia, so I'm in a hot spot for filmmakers. I've been in the industry for 10 years, over a decade. It's probably been closer to 12 years now, so it's been over a decade in the film industry. And I love talking about movies, y'all. And today we're going to talk about my top 10 for the year. Now, this is not top 10 grossing for the year. This is my top 10 for the year because, well, I don't watch every movie that comes out, so I don't know. And I saw most of these. There's one or two that I haven't seen yet, but they're also anticipated for me. I'm going to go see one tonight, and you'll see that in a minute. But we're going to look at some trailers. We're going to see what was actually good in 2024, and I want to talk about it. So let me know in the comments down below what your favorite movies of the year were, and if I haven't seen them, maybe I'll go check them out, and we can do a review on the channel about it too. So yeah, we're going to jump right into this, and let's get started. My first movie of the year, number one, and this is not necessarily in order, y'all, but I liked all these movies, and this is kind of in order, was Fall Guy. Fall Guy. So let's take a look at the Fall Guy trailer. This movie is actually really, really funny. So let's look at this together.
That's me, Colt Sievers, and this is my hero's journey.
Or just start from the top.
Okay, I'm not the hero of this story. I'm just a stunt guy. Trying to look cool in front of the director of this movie. That's her, who I just so happen to have a major crush on.
We need to keep it super profesh.
Cool. Trying to make out?
Nope.
Because I don't either. It's not what I'm into right now.
Super profesh.
Talking.
Yeah.
There's just one little wrinkle.
The star of the movie
Tom Ryder.
is missing. We need you to find him.
Why me?
You're a stunt man.
All right, let's take a look at this, y'all. So here's the thing. The Fall Guy. Sorry, it's The Fall Guy. I apologize. Hands up. I'm sorry. All right, so David Leitch directs this, and obviously super talented. David Leitch has done a ton of great movies. Not everything is great, but come on. John Wick, y'all. Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw, Bullet Train, Atomic Blonde, The Fall Guy. The list goes on. The guy puts out bangers. So obviously I appreciate this movie. David Leitch is great. Y'all, here's the thing. Hate it or love it, Ryan Gosling is just charming, and Emily Blunt is also just charming. Like, David Leitch cast the right people. And Aaron Taylor Johnson, who's going to be Craven now, he's the right person for the job. Yo, these are some really good castings. And the script was actually creative. It was funny. There was an old, I think it was a television show. Let's look actually real quick. Yeah, The Fall Guy. It was a television show. And this is like obviously a full reboot of that. This is not the television show. This is a feature film. But I just really enjoyed the story. There was a quirky love story, and there was also a lot of good action and a ton of good humor. So nailed it all the way around. We don't have to watch the whole trailer, but they nailed this movie all the way around. I really enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, that's number one for the year. Jumping into number two. This might be a surprise, or it might not be. This movie is hilarious. This is one of the funniest things.
Let's be clear, what's happening in this country?
This is one of the funniest movies of the year, if not the funniest movie. I was watching this with my son Malachi and Isaiah. They're both adults, don't worry. We were in the movie theater together. Not that there's anything bad or anything like that in this movie, but you know, it's an adult topic. So they're both adults. I know I look too young to have adult sons. They're my stepsons. Don't worry about it. Long story. Maybe we'll get into it in a different podcast, but that ain't the podcast right now. So, am I racist? Official trip. Sorry, am I racist? Official trailer. Let's look at this real quick. It's hilarious.
Let's be clear, what's happening in this country, it's Nazism. Republicans are Nazis. You cannot separate yourselves from the bad white people.
Growing up in the 90s, I never thought much about race. Sure, you noticed, but never really seemed to matter that much. At least not to me.
Being a white, straight, cisgender man, it's the top of the pile.
I'm on the top of the pile. That's me. Am I racist?
I would really appreciate it if you left.
I'm trying to learn. I'm on this journey.
Can you please leave?
Dude, he's unbelievable that he's willing and able to do this stuff.
What is racism?
Martin Luther King said not to judge people by the...
Martin Luther King said a lot of stuff.
Is America inherently racist?
All right, y'all. So look, I think what's crazy about this movie, if you haven't seen it, by the way, it's definitely worth a watch. I think you can only get it on Daily Wire Plus right now, which I don't have a subscription to, but I saw it in the theaters. That's how I was able to see it. It's actually in my top 10. It's actually a really good movie. We'll talk about it in a minute here. But this subverted my expectations in a lot of ways. Number one, it was really funny, but it kind of had some man on the street elements. It had some really funny interview, like got you interview elements. And honestly, he just uses logic to dismantle the craziness of the whole like race baiting culture that we're a part of. So really love this movie. This was well worth a watch, y'all. This was very, very funny. All right, let's jump in. What's number 3 on here? Ooh, Twisters. This is a good one. This is a good one. Twisters 2024. Obviously, we're not watching whole trailers, but let's get into Twisters 2024. This is one of my favorite movies for sure. Y'all, it's a shame. It's a shame this didn't do better, because this was really, really good. This was really, it was well acted. The lead actor in this is he's rapidly becoming a favorite of mine, because I just thought he was fantastic in this, and he was really good in Top Gun. So kind of when I saw Glenn Powell the first time was Top Gun Maverick. And that's probably not the first time I saw him, but that's the first time that he was like front and center on the screen for me. I was like, okay, I really like this guy. He's in great shape. He's got that. He's almost like Tom Cruise, right? He's got this great smile, it's a charismatic smile, I should say. And but he is in Twisters. I saw him in Top Gun Maverick, and then I also saw him in Hitman, which is really good. And this was one that made it into my top 10 this year, as a matter of fact. So he's in 2 top 10 movies this year. It came out 2024, right? Yo, did I just get this wrong? I mean, it was a top 10 of last year. It's not my list, dog. That would be stupid, because that came out last year. No, but this guy has really crushed it, and I think he's really good. He's a really talented guy, and he's got a drive to be the best. That's what I like about him. He actually puts time and effort into his characters instead of just phoning it in to make a bunch of money, which happens a lot in Hollywood, unfortunately. All right, let's move on to the next one. I know we're not watching the whole trailer, but if you want to, we can. Let's watch a little more. This one's really good.
We've never seen tornadoes like this before, and we need your help.
No, I don't chase anymore.
Kate, we can save lives.
I'll give you 1 week.
All right, fellas. We got PhDs from NASA, FEMA, and Kate. She's the smartest person I know.
Hey, dudes. This is interesting.
Who are they? It's Tyler Owens. Calls himself a tornado wrangler. If you feel it.
Scared of nothing and I'm scared to death. You know, our crew is not like your crew. I can't breathe and I catch my breath. We don't need PhDs and fancy tech. Sometimes the old ways are better than the new.
Yeah, this one was great, guys. This one was really great. Huge budget though. I think saddest part of this movie this year is it didn't really make money. Rule in box office is you have to make 2.5 times your budget really to break even or to make some money. And I don't think it did that. I think it had a really high budget, somewhere around $200 million, and it made like 350 in the box office or something like that. I guess I could look it up, couldn't I? Let's go Twisters. Yeah, I mean, look, 370 in the box office, but it had a big budget. Twisters budget. 155. Okay, so maybe it did make a little bit of money. Maybe just a little bit of money in the box office. So that makes me happy. I think they deserve it. This was actually one of the quality films that came out this year. All right, let's move on. Number 4, Reagan. This is a movie that got such bad press, and I have an interesting story about Reagan because I actually know the director, and he was going to direct one of my movies that I will end up, producing myself. Long story, but yeah, Reagan trailer. I don't know why Voltage Pictures is doing that. Interesting. Let's go to this one. So anyway, I actually saw a sneak peek of this movie 6 months or so before anyone got a release of the trailer because I know the director. So he just showed me some behind the scenes stuff. Nothing NDA breaking. Just some cool stuff from some industry insiders. So this movie was really great, very well done, and it got blackballed. It got blackballed, which is really sad because when you see something like this that's really high quality and then they blackball it, obviously it's not fair. It's ridiculous. So great movie. Go check this out. I'm sure you can find it streaming on several different platforms. So let's check the trailer out.
Welcome to your life.
There's nothing a retired governor can do, but a president, now he can do a thing or two.
Everybody wants to rule the world.
I will be frank with you that as a citizen, I would not like to see any political party outlawed on the basis of its ideology, because I still believe, Mr. Chairman, that democracy can handle it.
I was a brand new KGB officer, given my first intelligence assignment. A certain actor and union leader.
Dutch, there's a purpose for your life.
You can run from a bully for so long, but after a while, you're gonna have to stand up to him.
There's about to be another war right here in Hollywood. The commies on one side, the
All right, so obviously, I actually like how they filmed it, where it kind of feels a little bit whimsical and aged. Reagan was like he's a very historical figure in our culture, and really a pretty amazing guy, very beloved. Bridged the gap between Democrats and Republicans a lot, and just a really, really interesting figure. I think they did a great job. Sean, like I said, one of my friends, he's a great director. He's made hundreds of films at this point, or well over 100 films. Go check this out. 100% great. Civil War, number 5. Number 5, Civil War. Now this is an A24. This is an A24 joint, if I remember correctly. Yeah, A24. And this is a very interesting movie, kind of a cool what if story. So let's jump into Civil War. I think this one is something that you'll also definitely like, y'all.
19 states have seceded. The United States Army ramps up activity.
The White House issued warnings to the Western forces as well as the Florida Alliance.
The three-term president assures the uprising will be dealt with swiftly. Let me know if you want to try anything on.
I guess aware there's like a pretty huge civil war going on all across America.
We just try to stay out. With what we see on the news, seems like it's for the best.
Citizens of America, the so-called Western forces of Texas and California have suffered a very great defeat at the hands of the United States military.
Mr. President, do you regret the use of airstrikes against American citizens?
They're moving to D.C. today.
We need to go down there.
They shoot journalists on sight in the Capitol.
All right, so lots of CGI. What was Civil War budget? Civil War budget. Okay, 50 million. What I like about A24 is that obviously they're more of like an independent-ish studio at this point. They're not one of these big, you know, Paramount, Disney, all this stuff. And their budgets, all things considered, 50 million is a lot of money, but their budgets are actually really conservative based upon what we're seeing now coming out of Marvel and all this malarkey where they're $200 million, $300 million. Gladiator was 301 million or 310 million. And it grossed 122 worldwide, becoming A24's second highest grossing film. And it was generally positive reviews from critics. So this is a good movie. I think it's one worth seeing. It's a cool what if story, right? What if there was a civil war in the country? I think it was very topical, and I just felt like they did a really good job with it. So let me know what you think down in the comments below about this one. Have you seen it? Do you want to go see it? Next one, Rebel Ridge. So this one, Rebel Ridge was, oh man. All right, so this was a Netflix film. I think it probably could have gone to theaters, but the actor is not that big yet. I think he's gonna be pretty big soon, or at least I haven't seen him in a ton of stuff. So Aaron Pierre, let's see what else he's been. Don Johnson's in this. He does a great job. He plays a crooked cop. It's very much like a Rambo type movie. Someone comes into town. He's a drifter. He's an ex-military type guy. He gets knocked off his bike. And then the local cops screw him. I mean, this is very Rambo. And then he has a special set of skills that he uses against them. Revenge type plot. You pushed me too far type deal. So this is kind of like a Rambo type story. It was great. I think it was really, really great. There was like one or two little woke things that they need to just strip out of these stupid scripts. Because I'm just not into it. But all things considered, I think this was actually pretty good. And Aaron Pierre, let's see what else he's in. Yeah, not a ton of stuff. He's got 12 credits, but he's got 3 upcoming. He's in Mustafa, The Morning Show Land. Okay, so Upholster Guys, I don't know what that's all about. Rebel Ridge, Genius, Foe, Brother, Old. Okay, Underground Railroad. So he's not done a ton of stuff, but I think he's pretty talented, and I think he's got a very striking face. So I think he's kind of got success written on him. Yeah, look at it. He's got very striking eyes. Anyway, let's look at Rebel Ridge here.
And this is cash?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. He just got this one.
Big guy must weigh 250.
We're gonna hold on to this money.
I didn't get his badge number, but his last name's Marston.
You're gonna need to leave.
Next suspect number 2.
Hey, Mike! Post him down. Stay low, all right?
You can fight for the money, but that'll take you most of a year and cost you twice what you're owed.
And it's legal?
It's the law.
May I at least see my cousin?
You can fuck right off.
I would love to, sir, just as soon as I get my money.
Yeah, so you can tell it's intense. He gets screwed over by the police, which, you know, I'm not terribly into those movies where someone gets screwed over by the police, because I don't like to make the police look bad. They've had enough of that for the last 4 or 5 years. However, I think this was really well done. I think it's definitely worth a watch. So check this out if you haven't already, Rebel Ridge. Number 6. Moving on to number 7, Furiosa. Now, this was, you know, a Mad Max movie where Mad Max isn't in it. So that's kind of like a bittersweet type thing. But still really well done. And honestly, I think it got pretty good reviews. Now, one thing I do think that happened is it lost money. Furiosa budget, 168 million. Budget and box office, 168 million. Worldwide gross of 100. Oh, that's rough, dude. So yeah, they only gross 173 million worldwide, which you'd think, oh, they made a little bit of money. No, the movie theaters take half, and the distributor takes 25 to 30%. So you're looking at a pretty major loss here. I don't think it deserved that, but it, you know, it's not number one for the year. But I think it was a pretty good movie, and it had that over the top crazy action that you would expect. So let's take a look at the trailer or a little bit of it here, and if you're interested, go check it out.
Whatever you have to do. However long it takes. Promise me you'll find your way home. Furiosa. Give me this promise.
They have some super striking visuals. That's one thing I love about these, is the visuals are just crazy, and then of course the vehicles. It's like the vehicles and the desert and everything are almost like a character of their own, and they just do such a great job with that. So, not a great trailer. Honestly, they missed out on the trailer. I'm sure it gets much better, but the opening is boring, bro. They screwed that up. Now, this is the first trailer. I'm sure the second and third were much more action-packed, right in your face in the beginning, but yeah, look at these vehicles, man. The vehicles are so cool. And then, of course, you got Hemsworth is in this too, and he's very charismatic and he's very interesting to watch. So that boosted the film a couple points for me too. Next one's Gladiator 2. I did not love this, y'all. I did not love Gladiator. What's up, Live Search? Big studios intentionally inflate budgets and do shady stuff to reduce taxes and payments to actors. Yeah, you're definitely right. There's so much fudging of the books. Like if a budget is $150 million, they fudge the books massively so that these executive producers are making way more than they should. And then they hide the proceed, like the actual profits of the film, they hide tremendously, and they embezzle money. And there's just so much crookedness, man. That happens, unfortunately, in the entertainment industry, and that's why we're making a new Hollywood. And there's going to be a lot more on that coming in 2025. I have a lot more to talk about that, but I'm actually working on some pretty incredible ways to change the whole system. And yeah, it's going to change the world, y'all. But anyway, let's jump into Gladiator 2 is number 8 on my list. Gladiator 2, y'all, this was such a missed opportunity. If you haven't seen the video on my channel, how I would fix Gladiator 2, go check that out, because I think it would really give you some insight as to how they screwed this up. But there was still some really entertaining stuff in here. And honestly, this year was really bad for movies. So we just kind of had to deal with what we had.
Revenge against an empire. I remember that day. I never forgot it. That a slave could take revenge against an emperor.
Where were you born?
I don't know. I never knew a mother nor a father.
You will be my instrument.
Who are you?
All right, y'all. So they're showing that this is Lucius from the first movie. They're showing it in the trailer. So they ruined the surprise in the movie. And they should have done what they did in this trailer. If they had actually cut the movie the way they cut this trailer, it would have been so much better. Pedro looks like he should have been the main character. So, yeah. I know Pedro Pascal. Yeah, in Gladiator 2, they talked him up so much and everything, and he was important in the movie. But what they did, and you'll see this if you go watch my How to Fix Gladiator 2 video on my channel. But they should have started with him as a young boy and then showed how he ran away from Rome and was raised and grew a family and stuff like that. And that's how they show it in the trailer. They should have just done that in the actual movie, and it would have been way better. This would have been, a 7 or 8 out of 10 instead of a 5. So this was a missed opportunity, y'all. But there was some crazy eccentric fights. Check this out. Check this out.
Did you hear that crowd? The greatest temple Rome ever built. The Colosseum. Because this is what they believe in. Power.
All right, y'all. So you can see the head sharks with laser beams attached to their heads in this movie, and they really screwed it up. They really screwed some of those things up. However, it was a very skimpy year on good movies. So this still goes in top 10, and it also, I think, as time goes on, will turn into top 10 grossing of all of the year as well. Right now, I think it's in like 14th or 15th spot, but there's still 3/4 of a month left, so it could still make a bunch more money. Now, this movie I have not seen. I did a trailer reaction already on my channel. However, I'm going to go see it tonight, and I think that it looks really good. I'm a huge Greek mythology fan, and the Odyssey is one of my favorites of all time. So this is kind of not necessarily a retelling of the Odyssey, but this is this is the end of the Odyssey, right? So if the Odyssey, you would need probably 15 or 20 hours to tell the whole thing. This is the end of the Odyssey, and I really think it looks great. And Ralph Fiennes is a killer actor, so let's check this one out real quick.
Our king Odysseus, the smartest of all the heroes. He led us for 10 years in the Trojan War, before his brilliant plan to build the great horse. The Trojans thought it was a gift and took it behind their walls. Then, out poured our soldiers. Odysseus led us to victory.
People love stories. You were there?
I am Odysseus. Do you not know?
Not to me.
There is no king. He sailed to Troy years ago. Took the best men with him.
All year, suitors have been turning up, waiting for his widow to choose a new husband to be king.
Scoundrels, they're just here for your wealth.
Look at this island. A wasteland. Gangs of thugs.
Yeah, I'm fired up for this one, y'all. I mentioned this in my trailer reaction. I think this is a little bit lower budget to that, $20 million-ish range, but it looks really good. And Joseph Fiennes is good. It just goes to show you, budget does not mean good movie. Budget does not mean good movie. Some of these lower budget films, like Civil War, I know 50 million is a lot of money, but this is definitely lower budget. Let's look it up before I just start spouting. Probably around 80 million. I don't think so. Oh, this is for a show. Yeah, I don't think there's any information on it yet. That's 2003. Yes, okay, so there's no information on it yet. I'm sure it will come out hopefully soon. But if there's no information on it, that means it is low budget. That's like nearly a confirmation, because it's not a major buzz right now. There's not major buzz about this movie, but I'm going to go see it. I think you should go support this in theaters as well. I would love to see this make a lot of money. Let's move on. Number 10. Number 10 should be number 1. Finish This Fight. Diary of a Pissed Off American Soldier. This is a documentary that I had the pleasure of directing and producing, and I even edited it this year. I'm going to put a link in the description below. Make sure you go purchase your copy through my link. Help us to create more films like this, Diary of a Pissed Off American. Let's find, well, forgive me here. I'm going to have to go into, because I don't think I have the link. I don't think I have the link to it, but I have the actual file because I edited the movie. So I have the file for the actual movie. I have it right here. So let's add a scene here. Boom. 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 Desktop. It's on my desktop right now. Let's open this up and all right. All right, hold on one second, y'all. Bear with me. I should have planned this better. I didn't expect to do this, but you know what? I'm going to. I want y'all to see it. And pause this. We got to resize it. I'm going to give you all a little taste of the movie about Glenn Baker. And we're going to just fast forward to my part, all right? I put myself, I had a little cameo here. And I think you guys are going to like it. It's pretty fun. And this is number 10, y'all. Really could be number 1, obviously. It's a project that I worked on. Put a lot of time and effort into this. Sorry about that. Just trying to get this put up in here real quick. So let's go here to finish this fight. And I'm going to show you guys just a small part of it. It's kind of like a drunk history part where Glenn is telling his story, and as he voices over, we actually act it out. I don't know if you've ever seen Drunk History. And I did it that way because I wanted it to be funny. For people, he's telling a story that's really hard to digest because a lot of bad stuff happened to him. So we tell it in a funny way so that people can kind of resonate with it and they don't feel so beaten over the head with this story. And then the documentary is about him waking up to DOJ corruption and all the terrible things that have gone on in the world in the last several years. So let's take a look at that real quick.
Playing, I started singing again, thinking my country loved me and cared about me. And then, July of 2017, I was at my apartment, getting ready to take a shower and go out and meet some clients, and I hear a knock on the door. Knock, knock, knock. And I go and answer. I'm in nothing but a pair of shorts. And there's 10 cops and a SWAT team. And I'm like, okay, how can I help you? And they said, well, we just received a domestic disturbance call at this address. And I kind of chuckled. I said, well, man, I live alone, so I'm not sure how that's possible. And he smiled and laughed. He said, man, it happens all the time. Have you got any ID? And I'm, yeah, sure. And I reached up here and grabbed it, handed it to him. He looked at it. He said, oh, Mr. Baker, okay, cool. Why don't you step outside here? We'll get it wrapped up and we can get out of your hair. Okay, no problem. I stepped out the door and was immediately thrown against a wall and handcuffed. And Mr. Baker, you're under arrest. No Miranda. You're just under arrest. Set me down on a bench, and I'm kind of chuckling. They're like, what? I said, where's the camera? What do you mean?
All right. So that is, obviously, that's my cameo in the movie. I'm directing it, and I'm producing it, and making everything happen. So I went on to put myself in it. I love acting. That was my first love. But the movie goes into a ton of really important topics. Like I said, it was his awakening time where he learns about DOJ corruption and corruption in government and all this stuff. And we got some really great guests on the movie, y'all. It's like Tig Teagan from the Benghazi incident when Obama was president. We have, who's the gentleman from Vets for Child Rescue? Craig Sawyer. We have Nate Kane, who was a FBI whistleblower. Dude's absolutely got an incredible life. So anyway, go check out that. That is my movie, Diary of a Pissed Off American Soldier. It's called Finish This Fight, Diary of a Pissed Off American Soldier. I'll leave my link in the description below, so make sure you go and buy your copy and check it out. I think it's really going to be eye-opening, and I think it'll be really fun for you to watch as well. And that's the movie that I directed and edited. So that is my top 10, y'all. Fall Guy, Am I Racist, Twisters, Reagan, Civil War, Rebel Ridge, Furiosa, Gladiator 2, The Return, and Finish This Fight, Diary of a Pissed Off American Soldier. We're making movies great again, y'all. Hollywood's in a bind. Hollywood's having a lot of trouble right now. And honestly, we have a great plan for it. And you're going to see that unfold in 2025. As time goes on, we are really going to reshape the landscape of Hollywood. We're doing things a lot differently. And it's going to be in a scalable way. So it's not just me and a couple other people. There's going to be thousands of people involved in this, y'all. So I'm excited about it. I know that's very vague. But trust me, more is coming in 2025, and it's going to start a movement the world has never seen before. Thank you for everybody who stopped by in the comments. Thanks for clicking like on this video and subscribing for more. We do videos nearly every day, and we do a live stream podcast every single week, exclusively on Rumble. Thanks, y'all. We'll see you in the next one.